New comic book day is right around the corner, and it is a stacked week. So let's take a look at the books coming out this week so I can tell you what's on the pull list. Let's get dangerous. Welcome back to Comics Are Dope. I am BJ Kicks, and this is the Pull List, my weekly video series where I tell you what's on my pull list, what's on the chopping block, what's on the maybe list that I'll be making a game day decision on for this week's releases, January 25th, 2023. Now, you guys know I like to start this list off with the book that I'm most excited for, and if you couldn't tell by my t-shirt, of course, this week, that is Darkwing Duck, issue number 1 from Dynamite Entertainment. This one is written by Amanda Deibert. It's got art by Carlo Lauro. And man, listen. Some of my earliest memories in life are watching 2 different shows. It's Batman the Animated Series and Darkwing Duck. The daring duck of mystery, champion of right, swoops out of the shadows. The Darkwing owns the night. This is great. I'm so excited. Listen, I don't expect this is going to be the best book of the week. It may not even be my favorite book this week, but it is absolutely the book that I am most excited about. The nostalgia just gets me right in the heartstrings. And so Darkwing Duck issue number 1 out this week from Dynamite Entertainment with a cover price of $3.99. That cover A by David Nakayama is dope, and I'm getting that. I'm probably also going to get the cover B by Mirka Andolfo because that one is also dope. So let's get dangerous. Let's move right on along because somewhere some villain scheming and his number's up. Anyway, moving on to indie titles since Darkwing is from Dynamite. Another title from Dynamite coming out this week is also another Disney afternoon favorite. This is Gargoyles issue number 2. So in this issue, apparently we're going to see the return of Dominique Draken. Now, Gargoyles was a show that I remembered watching, but not nearly as much as I watched Darkwing. I enjoyed issue number 1. It was a nice jumping in point, a nice like, hey, here's who everyone is. But it is definitely a continuation of everything that happened in the first 2 seasons of the animated series. So I recommend like actually watching the animated series just to get a little bit more out of the book if you're going to read it. But even if you're not, I think you'll still enjoy this comic. This one's got a cover price of $3.99, and I am grabbing cover A. Now, man, it seems like my entire indie pull list this week is full of nostalgia. And look, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they have a comic book together. So this is actually the second volume of their team-ups. So Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Volume 2, issue number 2 is out this week from Boom Studios. Basically, in the last issue, we saw Casey is gone bad. Casey Jones, like what's going on? So, of course, we know that we're going to end up with some ridiculous, like, mashups of everything we love about Power Rangers and the Ninja Turtles. The fun is going to be seeing how we get there. And so far, I like Casey Jones Breaking Bad. Now, for this one, it's got a cover price of $4.99, which I'm not even mad at. It's a nostalgia play, and I don't mind paying the extra $1 for the nostalgia. This art by Dan Mora is something serious, and Ryan Parrott is no slouch on the scripts. So I think it's well worth the money. But anyway, MMPR TMNT 2 has a cover price of $4.99, and that cover A by Dan Mora is dope, but I'm probably also going to get the cover E by Torrin Clark. I've just been loving Torrin Clark covers and the sort of mashup covers. Last week, we got Raphael with Jason the Red Ranger. This week, we've got Donatello with Zach the Black Ranger. Pretty sure it's Zach, not Adam. Anyway, I'm loving the series so far. And that's actually, it should be the last book on my indie pull list. But there's a book on the maybe list this week. And the maybe list, again, these are the books that I make a game day decision on. Maybe I hear good things. Maybe I watch Rocket Robbie's early comic book reviews. And I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll grab it off the shelf. This week, that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Last Ronin, Lost Years, number 1. So if you haven't read The Last Ronin, it's like the Dark Knight Returns of TMNT stories. Basically, Three of the turtles are dead, as well as Master Splinter, and the lone remaining turtle is avenging their deaths against the Foot Clan in a like cyberpunk future New York City. Well, we definitely got, all that going on in the first story. And the first story was really compelling. We're at 5 issues. They got delayed tremendously, but now you can get the hardcover. It's, I got it over there on that shelf. So this is like a prelude story set after the death of those other turtles and Splinter, but long before he actually finally gets his revenge. So this is following that turtle among some of his earliest adventures without his brothers and without his master. So it sounds compelling. I'm just like, I don't know, something about it screams cash grab to me. So that's why it's on the maybe list. If I hear good things, then I might grab it. It's got a cover price of $4.99, and that's the cover A. Not a super compelling cover A, if I'm being honest with you. But that's it for my indie pull list. If I just stick to the list, don't get any extras, my indie total is going to be $13. If I do decide to grab that last Ronin Lost Years issue, that brings the total up to $18. So let's move on to Marvel Comics. Now, the only 2 books on my Marvel pull list this week. One I'm not crazy excited about, but it is The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 18. So last week, I decided to get mostly caught up with the Dark Web event. And I decided I'm not buying like every little tie-in that they do. So I read the Dark Web alpha or opening issue, whatever they called it. I read the Amazing Spider-Man tie-in issues, and I read 2 out of the 3 X-Men issues. And it's decent. Like, it's a wacky event. I think I haven't read the 3rd Dark Web X-Men issue, and that might give me some more of the levity that we need in an event, but I'm just like, I could care less about it. But one thing I do enjoy about the Amazing Spider-Man tie-in issues to Dark Web is that they gave John Romita Jr. a break, and Ed McGuinness is on art. So with him drawing some of these really wacky like amalgamations of Spider-Man ideas and the Limbo world, it's just been fun to watch his cartoony art style taking on like the subject matter. So I'm actually kind of excited about Amazing Spider-Man issue 18, but I'm not expecting anything groundbreaking. This is the last Dark Web tie-in, though. I'm excited about that because we're finally, in like 2 issues, gonna finally learn like what exactly happened with Peter Parker and Mary Jane. But hey, they could have told us that like 10 issues ago, and I'd have been happy. But anyway, ASM issue 18's got a cover price of $3.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the next book on the Marvel pull list could have been my pick for the most exciting book of the week. This is Sins of Sinister issue number 1. So Sins of Sinister is basically being billed as Mr. Sinister's Age of Apocalypse style event. They also put in the solicits Powers of Essex, which I thought was pretty funny. But listen, after that Immortal X-Men issue 10 last week, that lead in, I am 100% down to see what exactly Mr. Sinister has got going on, who he's taking control of, what the stakes are, and how mutant kind and the Krakoa, sort of force, I don't know, is going to handle it. I'm full on excited. It's probably the most excited I've been about an X-Men event since Hoxpox, because Tenosaurus didn't do it for me. I wasn't all that big on whatever the last one was, Judgment Day, but I am excited about Sins of Sinister. I don't know about all these tie-ins we're going to start seeing next week, but I'm down for at least the main event. It's got a cover price of $5.99. I'm going to grab cover A. And that's it for the Marvel books on my pull list. So just sticking to the books on the list, my Marvel total will be $10 this week. And that's a bad enough total, honestly. So let's move on to the distinguished competition, DC Comics, my favorite of the publishers, at least of the big 2. And first up is another book that could have been my pick for most excited about this week. This is Action Comics issue 1051. This is the first book that actually has the dawn of DC on the trade dress. So this new era of DC storytelling starts with Action Comics 1051. If you read issue 1050, you already know there's going to be some great jumping in points, and I'm most excited about the new Superman family of titles. Now, this is going to be the first with a new format. Instead of getting like a main story and one B story, you're actually going to get 3 books in one, or 3 stories in one book. First, of course, being the main Action Comics storyline, where we've been gearing up for Superman versus Metallo, and I am excited to see how that goes in this issue. Now, we're also getting a Power Girl issue, or Power Girl story, which I've never really read any Power Girl, so that'll be what it is. And then I forgot what the 3rd story in the middle of those 2 is going to be. So anyway, if you're a big Superman family fan, then you're in for a treat with Action Comics. This one's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And the last book on my DC Comics pull list is Detective Comics issue 1068. So honestly, man, I'm so far behind on Ram V's Detective Comics. I keep saying I'm going to get caught up, and then I don't get caught up. So yeah, pretty covers though. It's got a cover price of $4.99. I'm grabbing cover A. And there actually is one more book on the maybe list for DC. And that is, oh wait, no, it's not on the maybe list. This book is on the chopping block. So chopping block, books that I was going to grab and I just can't do it anymore. This is Lazarus Planet, We Were Once Gods, issue number 1. I have decided I'm going to jump off the Lazarus Planet train. And it's not, like I said in, last week's, pull list video. It's not because it's necessarily bad. Lazarus Planet is cool. It's just, the whole event is basically a bunch of one-shots. And then, you might get something consequential in Batman versus Robin or Monkey Prince. And I'm just like, you know what? With these one-shots, they're all like kind of anthology type one-shots with a ton of creators and a ton of short stories. And I just decided, like, you know what? I don't have the brain power, nor do I want to spend the extra money every week on this Lazarus Planet event. So I'll wait till next month when it all hits DC Universe Infinite, and we can kind of do a retrospective review without me spending, $50 on this event. So that's what I'm going to do. Lazarus Planet is no longer on the pull list. And by doing that, I saved $5 this week, which brings my DC total down to $10. And my grand total for the week, if I don't buy that extra Last Ronin book, it's going to be $33. And of course, if I do buy the extra Last Ronin book, it's going to be $38, which is still under my comic book budget. But I'm trying to, it's not just about not spending money. It's about not committing to spending time or committing space in a very confined comic book room to stories that I'm not going to read and enjoy. So there we go. A heavy week this week, an exciting week, but I am finding ways to trim the fat where I can. So yeah, all in all, I'm very excited about Darkwing Duck. As you can see, what are you excited about this week, though? I think Action Comics is going to be my favorite of the week, but I've got to just make a blind guess, followed closely by Power Rangers Ninja Turtles, and then Sins of Sinister. Sins of Sinister is going to be good, too, I think. But I want to know what you think down below, what books are on your list. By the way, if you want to get comic book recommendations, you got to subscribe to my newsletter. Every week I put out a newsletter called This Week in Comics, where I tell you what I think about a few of this week's issues. I give you recommendations on books going on final order cutoff this coming up weekend. So stay in the know, subscribe to the newsletter, links in the description down below. I'll see you guys in another video very soon. Until then, hope you read something dope. Peace.